Hello, friends. Welcome back to Learning Nails and Aesthetics. We are on Chapter 2, Skin Foundations, Anatomy and Physiology of the Milady Aesthetics book. Starting on page 35, we will go to page 43. This is a very long chapter. So if you have not listened to the previous section of this book, check that out. The number of bones and composition. Oh, I would also like to add, I am not AI. Mistakes will be made. So, here we go. The adult skeleton has 206 bones that form a ridge framework to which the softer tissues and organs of the body are encased and acts as anchor points for muscles and ligaments to provide support for movement. Muscles are connected to bones by tendons. Bones are connected to each other by ligaments. The bone tissue is composed of several types of bone cells embedded in a web of inorganic salts, mostly calcium and phosphorus, and collagenous fibers. The web gives the bone strength, and the fibers give the bone flexibility. The place where bones meet one another is typically called a joint. A joint is the connection between two or more bones of the skeleton. There are two types of joints: movable, such as elbows, knees, and hips, and immovable, such as the pelvis and skull, which allow little or no movement. Functions. The primary functions of the skeletal system are to give shape and support to the body, protect various internal structures and organs, serve as attachments for muscles, and act as levers to produce body movement. Help produce both white and red blood cells, one of the functions of bone marrow. Store most of the body's calcium supply, as well as phosphorus, magnesium, and sodium. Did you know? People often complain of joint pain. However, the pain is usually caused by inflammation of the tissue surrounding the joint and not the joint itself. You have over 230 movable and semi-movable joints in your body. Bones of the skull. The human head contains 22 bones divided into two groups: the cranium and the facial bones. The cranium is an oval, bony case that protects the brain, and it is formed by 8 bones. The face consists of 14 bones, including the maxilla, upper jaw. The maxilla, which is the upper jaw, they just put that in parentheses there, and mandible, which is the lower jaw. Small openings in the skull allow the cranial nerve to extend to various locations on the head. Bones of the cranium. The cranium is made up of 8 bones. So this will be fun. Let's see my pronunciation. The I know how to say this. Why am I having trouble? Occipital. Occipital bone forms the back of the skull above the nape. The 2 parietal bones from the sides and the crown, which is the top of the cranium. The frontal bone forms the forehead. The 2 temporal bones form the sides of the head in the ear region. The ethmoid bone is the light, spongy bone between the eye sockets that form part of the nasal cavities. The sphenoid bone forms the sides of the eye socket. The ethmoid and sphenoid bones are not affected when performing services or giving a massage. Bones of the face. The bones of the face that estheticians need to know include: nasal bones form the bridge of the nose. Lacrimal bones, the smallest and most fragile bones of the face, are situated at the front inside part of the eye socket. 2 zygomatic bones, also known as malar bones, or cheekbones form the prominence of the cheeks. Two maxilla bones form the upper jaw. The mandible forms the lower jawbone, the largest and strongest bone of the face. Bones of the neck. The main bone of the neck are the following. The main bones of the neck are the following: hyoid and cervical vertebrae. Hyoid, a U-shaped bone at the base of the tongue that supports the tongue and its muscles. Cervical vertebrae, the seven bones of the top part of the vertebral column located in the neck region. Bones of the chest. Bones of the chest are important when performing full body treatments such as body wraps, as well as for massage that includes touching the sternum, scapula, and clavicle as body reference landmarks. The bones of the trunk or torso include thorax, the chest or pulmonary trunk consisting of the sternum, ribs, and thoracic vertebrae. It is an elastic, bony cage that serves as a protective framework for the heart, lungs, and other internal organs. Ribs, 12 pairs of bones forming the wall of the thorax. Scapula, also known as shoulder blade, large, flat, triangular bone of the shoulder. There are two. Sternum, also known as the breastbone, the flat bone that forms the vertical front support of the ribs. Ventral front support of the ribs. Clavicle, also known as collarbone, the bone that joins the sternum and scapula. Bones of the arms and hands. The important bones of the arms and hands are as follows: clavicle, scapula, humerus, radius, carpus, metacarpus, and phalanges. The humerus is the uppermost and largest bone of the arm, extending from the elbow to the shoulder. The ulna is the inner and larger bone of the forearm, the lower arm, attached to the wrist and located on the side of the little finger. The radius is the smaller bone in the forearm or the same side of the thumb. The carpus, also known as wrist, is a flexible joint composed of 8 small, irregular bones held together by ligaments. The metacarpus, also known as the palm, consists of 5 long, slender bones called metacarpal bones. The phalanges, also known as digits, are the bones in the fingers, 3 in each finger and 2 in each thumb, totaling 14 bones. Check in. List the primary functions of the skeletal system. Identify the bones in the skull, cranium, face, neck, chest, and arms and hands, and their location. Recognize the muscles involved in aesthetic massage. The muscular system covers shapes and supports the skeletal tissues. Muscles are fibrous tissue with the ability to stretch and contract according to the demands of the body movements. This system can contract and move various parts of the body. How is this important? An esthetician will need familiarity with muscles for a number of reasons. Aesthetic massage involves manipulating the muscles of the face, neck, shoulders, arms, and hands. Many treatments, including electrical modalities, involve an understanding of the muscles' movements in order to achieve the desired result. Your posture and positioning during treatments will require you to demonstrate good body mechanics in order to prevent muscle fatigue. The human body has over 630 muscles, which are responsible for approximately 40% of the body's weight. Out of over 630 muscles, 30 are facial muscles. There are 3 types of muscle tissue. Skeletal or voluntary muscles contract with conscious thought. Smooth or involuntary muscles are not under conscious control. Cardiac muscles are specific to heart function and are not under conscious control. Estheticians work with skeletal or voluntary muscles. These are the muscles attached to bones and are controlled by thought processes. Nerve impulses trigger a reaction from the muscle, which contracts, moving the bone or joint it is associated with. A skeletal or voluntary muscle has 3 parts. Origin, which is the tendon, the belly. Insertion is also a tendon. The origin is the more flexible part of the muscle closest to the skeleton, which flexes but remains stationary. The belly is the middle part of the muscle. The insertion is the part of the muscle that is movable attachment and farthest from the skeleton. Pressure in massage is usually directed from the insertion to the origin. Muscle tissues can be positively influenced during an aesthetic treatment by massage, hand or mechanical vibrations, electrical therapy current. See Chapter 10, Facial Devices and Technology for additional information on high-frequency current, galvanic current, or microcurrent. Light rays, infrared light, emitted diode, and LED, dry heat, heat lamps or heating caps, moist heat, steamers, or moderately warm steam towels. Muscles of the scalp. There are 4 muscles of the scalp: frontals, occipitals, and 2 temporals on the sides. The esthetician is most concerned about the frontals. The scalp muscle that raises the eyebrows, draws the scalp forward, and causes wrinkles in the forehead. The epicranius, also known as the occipital frontalis, is a broad muscle that covers the top of the skull. It has 2 parts, occipitals and frontals. The occipitalis, the back of the epicranius, is the muscle that draws the scalp backward. Muscles of the eyebrow. The corrugator is the muscle located beneath the frontalis and orbicularis oculi. It draws the eyebrows down and wrinkles the forehead vertically. The orbicularis oculi is the ring muscle of the eye socket. It closes the eyes. The levator palpebrae superioris muscle controls the eyelid and can be easily damaged during makeup application. Let me see. Maybe we'll go on one more. Okay, muscles of the nose. Figure 213 also shows the 2 primary muscles of the nose. The procerus lowers the eyebrows and causes wrinkles across the bridge of the nose. The nasalis is a 2-part muscle that covers the nose and includes the transverse part and the altar part, which flare the nostrils. Muscles of the mouth. The following are important muscles of the mouth. The buccinator is a thin, flat muscle in the cheek between the upper and lower jaw that compresses the cheeks and expels air between the lips, as in when blowing a whistle. The triangularis, also known as the depressor angulioris, is the muscle extending alongside the chin that pulls down the corners of the mouth. The mentalis is the muscle that elevates the lower lip and raises and wrinkles the skin of the chin. The orbicularis oris is the flat band around the upper and lower lips that compresses, contracts, puckers, and wrinkles the lips. Levator arguli oris is a muscle associated with smiling. The risorius is the muscle that draws the corners of the mouth out and back when grinning. Levator labii superioris is a muscle associated with lifting the wings of the nose and upper lip. It is sometimes called the quadratus labialis. Yeah. Zygomaticus, major and minor, are muscles extending from the zygomatic bone in the angle of the mouth that elevates the lip, as in laughing. Gotta love Latin. Okay, muscles of mastication, which is chewing. The main muscles of mastication coordinate to open and close the mouth and bring the jaw forward or backward. These muscles are sometimes referred to as the chewing muscles. The esthetician needs to know the location of these muscles when performing facial massage and electrical modality treatments. Masseter and temporalis. Muscles of the ear. The three muscles of the ear are called the auricularis. They work together to move the ear upward, forward, or backward. Muscles of the neck. Muscles of the neck include following. The platysma is a broad muscle extending from the chest and shoulder muscle to the side of the chin. It is responsible for lowering the lower jaw and lip. The sternocleidomastoid is the muscle, so they call that SCM, is the muscle extending alongside the neck from the ear to the collarbone. It acts to rotate the head from side to side and up and down. Muscles that attach the arms to the body. Muscles attaching the arms to the body include the following. The latimus dorsi is a large, flat, triangular muscle that covers the lower back. It comes up from the lower half of the vertebral column and iliac crest, which is your hip bone, and narrows to the rounded tendon attached to the front of the upper part of the humerus. The pectoralis major, the pectoralis minor are muscles of the chest that assist the swinging movement of the arms. So we are going to stop there for today's video. We'll be recording another one, of course, maybe today. So just look out for that. I also have other videos on unboxing items from Temu, various gel brands, other items from like beetles, nails, Model 1s. Reading all three Milady books. This one, nails, as well, this one, and nails, as well as the Foundations book. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please make a comment. That helps with, that whole algorithm thing. Even if it's just a smiley face or something. Preferably something nice. I appreciate you listening. I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.